Hello and welcome once again to the Night Wolf Temple. Today is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, and today I will be reading a card of the day from the Rider Waite Smith deck. The card for today is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is also known as the Lord of Sorrows. You'll notice on the card three swords piercing a heart. In the background, rain clouds and rain in a gray sky. The symbolism on this card is apparent. The card represents loss, heartache, pain, absence, rupture, dispersion. Everything that is apparent on the card. The Virgin Mary, the Mother of Jesus, is often called Our Lady of Sorrow or Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrow. The Sacred Heart of Mary is often shown with her heart pierced by swords, symbolizing the heartache she experienced when Jesus was crucified on the cross. There's clearly a tie to that imagery in this card. However, heartache is not always a bad thing. Heartache can be a sign of empathy. Heartache can be a sign of compassion for those we love. For those we love, when they suffer, we suffer with them. This is what makes us human. If we didn't have heartache, could we really call ourselves human? So while this card is often associated with negative things, maybe betrayal, maybe a love triangle, I would ask you to consider that all sorrow, all suffering, all heartache is not a bad thing. For often when we experience pain, it is in those precise times, especially pain of the heart, where we know we are alive. To live one's life without heartache, without feeling emotions, is to be an object. It's to be a robot. It's not being a human. I personally think this is a beautiful card. I think the imagery is quite beautiful. We all know the feeling of falling in love with someone, of feeling the separation from a loved one, and then the joy of reuniting with that loved one. And we repeat this cycle again and again. The number 3 in most traditions is a holy number. You have the number of the Trinity. Another interesting thing, if you watched the video that I did a few days ago from the Tabula Mundi deck, you would notice that the 3 swords on that card in the Tabula Mundi deck form a tripod upon which sits the Queen of Justice, the lady, the liberator of the mind. And I think it's interesting here, if you look at this card in one way, you do see the swords are forming a tripod, and upon that tripod, actually impaled upon the tripod, is the human heart. I think, considering the timing of this, a few days before Valentine's Day, perhaps today is a day to address the pain that you feel in your heart. Perhaps you feel lonely. Perhaps you feel separated from those you love, or you feel unloved. Well, that feeling tells you you're alive. It's very natural to feel lonely. It's very natural to feel perhaps that you're not getting the love you deserve. But I would suggest that that love should start with yourself. Have some self-compassion, then extend that to those immediately around you, and then extend that to the greater world. And we can, even if you're not a Christian, look to the example of the Sacred Heart of Jesus or the Sacred Heart of Mary as an example of those who endured pain and suffering to take on the sins of the world, to take on the suffering of the world, and by doing so, to liberate the world. So I would suggest that there is a connection between suffering of the heart and ultimately to liberation of the mind. I hope that you found this card of the day useful. I appreciate you joining me. As always, I would like to suggest that you like and subscribe the channel. Your like and subscription would go a long way to help grow this channel. I look forward to reading your card again tomorrow. I look forward to bringing you other videos on this channel, and I thank you for attending the temple today. Have a blessed evening.